This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, make sure you hit that hype button. So, Lil Wayne, we kind of touched on this earlier this week, but Lil Wayne and Drake will probably never do an album together. You always see Drake have respect for Lil Wayne. You always see Nicki have respect for Lil Wayne because without Lil Wayne believing in them, they wouldn't be where they're at today. And I totally respect that. But you have noticed that Wayne linking up with Drake and Nicki is become a lot less than it used to be. And this is from a lot of factors. Wayne's been down with this label since the early 90s, like mid 90s, right? And he watched BG, Juvenile. He watched Birdman and everybody blow up. And he was already like doing his thing, but like he didn't really blow up until like the early 2000s. Like you get the late 90s where he does like Bling Bling and all that kind of stuff. But like I'm talking about, he started to really become his own. And at that point, Juvenile started leaving. Then Manny BG left. Turk left. Everybody left, right? And it was just Wayne at one point. And Wayne carried that label on his back for years, because you didn't get a Drake and a Nicki till 2008 into 2009. That stuff took years to come into play. Nicki didn't even meet Wayne until 2007, and nothing was finalized till 2009. Drake, I can't remember when. I think it was 2008 with Drake, and then 2009 it was solidified. But he would take them on tour, I think in 2008. And then 2009, they were all official. And they had a lot of artists on Young Money. But Wayne carried that label for years. There was nobody else. There was actually another Young Money before that had Currency on it. But Currency broke off and did his own thing, because he was just stagnated. Gutta Gutta was on there too, but Gutta Gutta stuck around. Now, what's crazy here is that you would think Birdman would never do anything bad to Wayne, because first of all, he always calls him his son. And second of all, he carried the label. He saved you. You guys would have gone under. There would have been no more label, because Birdman does such bad business, And that doesn't get talked about enough. He didn't pay a lot of producers. You always heard a lot of producers going to war with Birdman. A lot of features never got paid out. And, he had an 80-20 deal, and he's responsible for all the financials. Universal isn't. And I don't know if Universal would ever do another 80-20 deal again like this. He did it with the only other people that got a deal like this was Master P and No Limit. Because too much stuff goes on that messes up the label. And Wayne, around 2014 and 15, he has Young Money, Cash Money for the past 6 years. He's starting to realize, I'm not getting my fair share here. And once he brought it up to Birdman didn't take it well. And they started to go to war, he had to, Wayne got a lawyer, and they started going to court. And you'd hear Birdman diss Wayne. Wayne would diss Birdman. Rick Ross even jumped in it and defended Lil Wayne when he was like, on his knees for Birdman, or back in 2010. Now he's going against Birdman and taking on a beef that wasn't his. Most people knew, like 50 Cent, that they would get cool again. And, after years of battling in court, and this is probably why Drake and Nicki stayed out of it instead of just defending Wayne, because they knew that they would come back together eventually, and you don't want to be known for taking a side. And they couldn't fix it anyways, because this label had existed for almost 15 years before them, with those two working together. So it's different dynamic. So anyways, Wayne eventually gets his money. Drake and Nicki get free from Cash Money, where they're Wayne's, right? They're under Young Money. Birdman doesn't talk about that. Birdman's like, I own my whole catalog. He doesn't. He owns his whole early catalog. I don't know the exact details, but he doesn't own everything, because that fracture right there in 2015, 16, when it got settled, Universal had to step in and kind of like be escrow and deal with this whole thing, and make sure and hold the money, and then make sure it went to whoever won the case. Lil Wayne won the case. Lil Wayne got paid out. Like, Birdman tries to make it like, eventually I just pulled up on him, gave him the money. That's not what happened. The lawyers decided to settle, and Wayne got cut a check, and he got the catalog of Drake, Nicki, Tyga, I think. He got all that. Now, Wayne, instead of going through this, he got his catalog too. Instead of going through this and being like, you know what, man? I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm going to make sure my artists can buy their masters from me directly. No. You know what Wayne did? This is what's funny about it. Because I forgot. I guess I reported on it that he did it because I saw a video I did it. Back in 2020, he did a crazy deal. What he did was he sold Drake, Nicki, and his catalog for $100 million to Universal. He needed the money. He flies private everywhere. He has a very expensive lifestyle. He has like 3 homes. He has kids. I mean, that money, that's why you see him touring still. His overhead is crazy. He keeps a chef 24/7 with him. So Drake and Nicki did not appreciate that, and I wouldn't have. Don't you think Drake would have given him the money to buy his catalog back? Like, give me Drake's catalog. Now Universal has it, right? And it's like, if he had it, he could have added onto it, negotiated differently. And Drake's smart with business, obviously. Him and Oliver and all of them are smart. He would have turned that into like $1 billion deal. But anyways, Wayne sold Drake and Nicki's catalog without telling him. That's the ultimate betrayal, because he just went through that with Birdman. But instead of being an artist and a good person and giving them the first right of refusal, he went ahead and sold it. So that's why you probably will never get a Drake and Lil Wayne album. I always wondered that. Plus, Lil Wayne collab albums don't sell like you think they would. Like, he did 2 albums with 2 Chainz. It was his lowest selling albums. I don't know if that's a good comparison. Drake's going to carry the sales, but I always wanted that because Drake and Wayne, it's like they make each other better because they challenge each other. But it's a shame, man. Hurt people for real. And you always see this with labels, You always see this. Because, like, you saw it with Roc-A-Fella. They got along for so many years, and then money comes into play. People get greedy. People get bossy. People overstep their roles. And you get people forming their own teams and yes men. And then you get a divide in the company, Roc-A-Fella was great. You add a bunch of people in. Then Dame gets his, he gets, Cam and them. And then, things get weird. Then you start fighting over women, Aaliyah. It's like the dumbest stuff. The ego is crazy. And then Dame, being such a, quote unquote savvy businessman, got tricked out of his whole company for $5 million. When companies are selling for $50 million, $100 million, $150 million, It's like, I know they had a 50-50 deal with Def Jam, but Jay-Z did a backdoor deal, so he was going to become the CEO of Def Jam, and they were going to sell him back his stuff. He was going to sell him back Roc-A-Fella. So an offer was made from Def Jam of $15 million, and they took it, $5 million each. Crazy, right? You know it's worth more than that. All those albums, artists, Now, Dame did give some people their freedom. Cameron was able to walk. A lot of people were able to, like, not have to go to Def Jam. I think that Kanye had to go to Def Jam. But yeah, this was one of the biggest fumbles of Dame's career. He allowed Jay-Z to trick him out of a lot of money. Jay-Z got the whole thing. The only thing that was left was the Reasonable Doubt album. And Dame did so much damage over the years that it was able to get taken from him. And I think Jay-Z bought it. I think that went to the state, and then Jay-Z bought it. Nobody wanted to buy his third. He was trying to sell it for $2 million. Does that even make sense? Sold the whole Roc-A-Fella for $5 million. $15 million really, but $5 million out of year for you. And then, you're left with you want $2 million for an album, the Roc-A-Fella album. I don't know. I mean, that was the only thing that I think it was like Roc-A-Fella. There was two different Roc-A-Fella. There was like Incorporated and Roc-A-Fella something records or something, and that's what he owned a third of. But egos, man, drove these guys apart, and that's what you see with Pooh Shiesty and Gucci right now. I think Gucci's the one that has. Pooh Shiesty has to fulfill his agreements, and this is like the ultimate get back for Gucci, man. I mean, he was open to renegotiating the contract. Pooh Shiesty met up with him and tried to, hold a gun to his head and make him sign everything away, and it didn't work. So now, it's like it's always greed, man. Like, if he had sat down with Gucci Man, I'm sure they could have worked out something. Gucci Man's pretty fair. He let the Migos go with QCP. He could have held on to them and had QCP put him out. But he said, nah, go with them because I got to go to jail. He had to go to jail at that time. So Gucci Man's going to make sure some money comes in from this album. And this Pooh Shiesty album that drops at the end of the day today. And I mean, that relationship is severed forever. I mean, someone tries to rob you and points guns at you, it's over. And that'll always hurt Gucci Man's credibility. And people try to call him a snitch in this. It's a weird situation. Because they were doing business at the time. Now, Boosie would straight up call him a snitch. But if this happened to Boosie, Boosie's taking Young Blue to court. He's snitching all the time. Because according to him, he shouldn't go to court, even over business. Boosie's just like, he'll move the goalposts for whatever situations he's in. But, let me see. I just can't believe that this album's coming out while this trial is about to start. It's crazy. And I'm wondering if, like, Gucci Mane, did he need the approval to put it out, or did he just have songs and he's just going to drop it? That's what I'm wondering. Because I think he has that authority. I don't know. Anyways, that's just a quick video. I'll catch up with you guys in the morning. I'm going to get some sleep to get over this. I don't know how. I have a little chest cold, and I'm like, it's summertime. And I know I got it from my brother. And I was like, damn, how did I get a chest cold during the summer? I've never been sick during the summer. But I'm getting better. But it makes no sense. Tell me if you ever got sick during the summer, because to me it doesn't make sense. Anyways, this is Jordan Tower with JT News. I hope you like this video. Smash that like button, and I'll start the day off in the morning with some fresh news. I appreciate you all. Smash that hype button. Thank you so much for watching. I love you, and if you're feeling down on yourself or things aren't working out, just remember that you can't force things to happen overnight. A lot of people are always looking for a way out of a bad situation immediately. And life just doesn't work like that. It works in steps, As long as you're putting one foot in front of the other every day, trying to make your situation better. Being disciplined. Being disciplined is the hardest thing. And most problems we all face is financial. So if you don't feel like you're making enough money, get a second job and work harder. Yeah, you won't have a life for a while, but the financial freedom will allow you to sleep deep at night. Sometimes you got to take a little bit of a setback to win, you know? So, yeah, you might not be have any life. You might just be working the whole time, but it'll get you out of any situation you're in. You always got to like a lot of people aren't willing to sacrifice. So, you're going to stay stuck in a hard situation. We all have situations that you know, it's just more zeros for different people, but people have financial hardships all the time. Even Jay-Z might have certain financial, he's dealing with millions of dollars. If he wants to invest in something, maybe his money's tied up over here and he can't drop 300 million on this one thing he wants to invest in, you know? Everyone has I mean, it's a nice problem to have, but it's like everybody has their financial issues. So remember to always just take it one day at a time and do your best each day. And give yourself one day off a week, you know? I appreciate you all, and I'll check you guys in the next one.